welcome to another edition of Healthy Davao Media Forum where we discuss health-related issues and concerns sa ating kalusugan and other medical related mga problema and mga advocacy. We are joined by our friends from SPMC and this Monday's topic, April 28, awareness on hemophilia and other related blood diseases. We are joined by Dr. Christian Masakupan, the consultant and pedi-oncologist, Department of Pediatrics of SPMC. Then part 2, after Healthy Davao Media Forum, we are joined by our friends from the Department of Labor and Employment. They will be talking about the May 1 Labor Day activities. We have RD Randall Petsoy and joined by the other focal persons. And we also like to acknowledge the presence of our friends from the European Union Election Observation Mission. We have Lucas Voila Domaransky, social media analyst. Pero silang ibibigay sa ating mga friends sa media. They will be giving us fact sheets about the EU Election Observation Mission. So again, we like to approach our friends from the EU with Lucas and Tabel. And okay, we go to Healthy Davao Media Forum. Itong hemophilia, I think nag-guest lang to a year ago. No, they were discussing yung parang mahal yung naalala ko mahal yung treatment ng hemophilia, right?
Yes, sir.
Tapos may bata, may pasyente na nag-guest din, no, kasi parang madali so tell us about what is hemophilia to the benefit of everyone.
Actually, sir, if ang hemophilia was already discussed previously. So ang inassign sa akin ngayon is iba't ibang uri pa ng blood diseases, particularly sa children. So I, as a hematologist, I would like to take advantage of this opportunity to inform people regarding thalassemia naman po. So thalassemia is different from hemophilia kasi ang hemophilia is a bleeding disorder. Ang thalassemia naman is the most common cause of hereditary anemia. Meaning ito yung pinaka-common cause ng anemia na namamana natin, specifically among Filipinos. So for today, I would like to share my experiences and my expertise with regards to thalassemia naman po sa ngayon.
I remember when I was due with the PIA, merong partnership ang PIA and Thalassemia Society ba yun na fundraising?
Yes, po.
Mag-donate ng mga papers ba yun para mapenta and I think that yun yung parating ko kasi makita yung poster Thalassemia. So ano po yung sabi niya anemia, ano gano'n siya ka-prevalent sa region in the hospital that you're handling?
Thalassemia, may it be your beta thalassemia or alpha thalassemia, dalawa po kasi itong uri, pero we group it together under thalassemia. So it is the third most common cause of anemia sa buong bansa. Pero even though it is only the third most common, ito ay the most common hereditary ulit po o yung namamana na anemia. It's common in countries in Middle East and Mediterranean, sa Europe and sa Middle East. However, it found its way sa Southeast Asia and eventually pati Filipinos, madami na rin po tayong kaso ng thalassemia. So, unfortunately, ang thalassemia is requiring blood transfusion. Ginagamit po nito it is one of the diseases kung saan ginagamit nito ang malaking reserba ng ating dugo sa ating mga blood banks. That's why it is a big issue right now. One, because it's very common among Filipinos. Second, it's a public concern kasi ginagamit nga nito ang blood reserves which could have been available for other diseases na nangangailangan ng dugo. So, third most common cause po siya ng anemia sa Pilipino, which is quite significant.
Sa mortality, gano'n po yung mortality rate ng thalassemia? May cure po ba siya? Ano treatment?
Okay. Ang thalassemia kasi, it's genetic, no? So napapasa ito from the parents. Usually it happens when ang nanay at ang tatay merong gene for thalassemia. Pag ang bata ay nagkaroon ng genes from both the mother and the father, nagiging silang transfusion dependent, meaning kailangan silang salinan. Kawawa actually itong mga batang to kasi every month silang sinasalinan. So kung ang question, nakakamatay ba ang sakit na thalassemia? Hindi naman po, pero kailangan sila salinan kada buwan. Which is kawawa po ang bata na kailangan natin i-admit every month just for blood transfusion. Kung question naman po kung namamatay sila, unfortunately, hindi sila namamatay agad sa thalassemia pero they seldomly get to the age of 30. Bakit? Dahil sa komplikasyon ng pagtatransfuse po ng dugo, nagkakaroon tayo ng iron overload na napupunta sa heart, napupunta sa kidneys, napupunta sa liver at sa iba't ibang parte ng katawan, which causes for these children to have shortened lifespan. So again po, hindi siya nakakamatay na sakit. Pero it causes them na hindi umabot sa full potential nila. They die at the age of 20s to 30s po.
Meron bang gamot na normal yung life expectancy as a normal? Or yun talaga ang...
Sa ngayon po, meron tayong ginagawa to help improve the situation. Kaso hindi pa po available dito sa atin sa Davao City or sa Mindanao. We call it blood marrow transplantation or yung kilala dati na bone marrow transplantation. Kasi since nga po sa thalassemia, ang problema is ang bone marrow natin is not producing enough na RBC or yung pula ng dugo. That's why they have this anemia. So what we do is palitan yung bone marrow nila ng healthy bone marrow from their siblings or parents. Unfortunately, 5 pa lang po sa ospital sa Pilipinas ang nagpe-perform ng bone marrow transplantation. Isa pa lang po ang gumagawa ng bone marrow transplantation sa thalassemia at lahat po ito ay nasa Manila. Although there is hope for us Mindanaoans and Dabaweños because SPMC is planning to set up its own bone marrow transplant unit, kaso aabutin po ito ng ilang taon. Kasi it's not a very simple process and would take a lot of training and resources coming from the government. So ang sagot po, magagamot pa po itong mga batang to? Opo, may chance pa. Pero very small percentage because lahat ng treatment for bone marrow transplantation nasa Manila. But again, hope is possible. By 2028, we hope to establish the first bone marrow transplant center sa Mindanao or sa Davao City, and it will be the first one outside of the NCR region.
So, itong bone marrow transplant center, 2028, on target tayo nito na...
So far po, on the works na po, nagsisimula na po kami mag-set up ng significant persons that would be key ingredients for the setting up of the bone marrow transplant unit. Pero, yun po ang best na goals natin, 2028.
So may bibilhin tayong mga gamit for that?
Yes sir. So far kasi yung mga equipment natin na available natin sa SPMC is not able to cater for bone marrow transplant. Kailangan pa natin bumili ng mga gamit, ng machine to harvest the bone marrow. That is the most important. So far po wala tayong machine that could harvest bone marrow from the donors. Next po, kailangan pa po natin magpa-train ng mga personnel sa Manila or better if meron tayong connection from other countries that would allow us to train under their supervision para yung ating bone marrow transplant unit will be at par with the international standards.
Aside from thalassemia, itong bone marrow transplant unit, ano pang sakit ang that can treat, that this center can treat?
Very nice question po yun, sir, no? Kasi maliban sa thalassemia, ang isa pa po sa mga grupo ng mga sakit na makaka-benefit sa bone marrow transplant unit, which is mas seryoso at mas delikado because it has a high mortality and low success rate sa Philippines, which is leukemia. So far po kasi may mga kaso sa leukemia na nagagamot naman natin, mga 80 to 90% of success, pero meron po tayong tinatawag na high-risk leukemia. Meaning ito po yung leukemia na hindi responsive sa chemotherapy, ng success rate ay 50 to 60%. And the only way that we can improve that 50 to 60% na success rate sa leukemia is doing bone marrow transplant. In fact po, sa ibang bansa, when they treat leukemia, they immediately do bone marrow transplant pag high risk ang patient. Sa Pilipinas kasi, because we are very low resource setting, we reserve bone marrow transplant for patients with leukemia na nagre-relapse or hindi nagre-respond sa chemotherapy. So maliban po sa leukemia, may iba pa pong mga uri ng mga tumor which can benefit from bone marrow transplant katulad ng lymphoma, katulad ng neuroblastoma, at iba pa pong uri ng mga bone marrow disease at bone marrow failure disease. So hopefully, we can offer that soon sa Davao City and the entirety of Mindanao, and that will be hopefully at 2028 to help children with thalassemia, leukemia, and other blood-related problems po.
Okay, questions from our friends from the media. Sa ibang tao. Huh?
Sir, in terms of patients, sir, ilan yung gina-serve natin approximately ngayon?
For thalassemia?
Yes.
For thalassemia, we usually cater 20 to 30 patients per month sa SPMC para magsali ng dugo. This is inclusive of patients that are mainly from Davao City, but also from other provinces and other regions. So, 20 to 30 per month. Tapos, unfortunately, it is growing in number. So, tumataas yung ating number of thalassemia patients.
And how about the availability of blood for the transfusion, sir?
Yun nga po ang problema kasi since monthly, ibig sabihin every month kailangan natin mag-transfuse sa 30 children na ito. There is problem with blood availability. So, we always encourage that people from the public should donate blood in blood centers to help these children. Minsan po kasi ang iniisip ng tao, pwedeng mag-donate ang kamag-anak or kapamilya para sa isang bata with thalassemia. Pero from the hematologist point of view, this is not the best option. We, because of certain complications, pag nag-donate tayo ng blood from kapamilya, we appreciate it if ang blood comes from non-relatives. So, saan ito manggagaling? So, from the public po talaga.
And paano nato gina-address yung challenge, sir, ng shortage? Or
For the shortage of the bloods, the different blood banks, including the blood bank of SPMC, even through the help of Red Cross, we usually do blood donation drives. So, ang ano lang dito is, may nagdo-donate kaso kulang ng public information. Mas maganda sana kung we can spread the word to other people so that it can be spread through media, sa internet, sa radyo, sa television, na merong blood drives, na may blood drives in certain areas and certain dates so that people can go to them. So ano pang kailangan ba para mag-donate ng dugo? As much as possible, nakatulog po, hindi anemic, more than 50 kilos. If that is your qualification, more or less, pwede po kayo mag-donate ng dugo. So most of the population naman po sa atin are more than 50 kilos and hindi din po anemic, so they can most probably donate blood in these blood donation drives. Or, if not, you can go directly to SPMC and other hospitals to donate blood. So miski walang blood drive, pwede po tayo mag-donate sa mga hospitals.
So why is it that needed na galing pa sa public yung dugo na i-donate for the victim? Patient, I mean.
Ano po ulit, ma'am?
Bakit kailangan sa public yung you discourage, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes po.
You discourage na sa relative galing yung dugo.
Opo. Kasi ang tendency natin is if sa kamag-anak natin, there are similarity in the genetic makeup of the individual tsaka yung donor. So, nagde-develop po ng tolerance against possible. For example po, magtathalassemia tayo, magtatransplant tayo sa thalassemia in the later on. If magde-develop po tayo ng antibodies dun po sa kamag-anak natin, hindi na po sila pwedeng mag-donor in the future for the transplant. So, for future purposes, para po walang problema with the transplant procedure, as much as possible, yung dugo na tatanggapin ng isang bata is not for the possible donor niya for the transplant in the future. So, to resolve that problem, mas maganda kung galing siya, hindi relative, yung dugo na ito-donate.
sir, for detection ng disease for blood diseases, sir, ano yung advice ninyo for general public for us to know if there's a problem with our blood, if kailangan ng transfusion or what?
Okay, very good question. Ang kinaganda ngayong panahon, meron na tayong tinatawag na expanded newborn screening. Lahat ng bata ngayon na pinapanganak sa Philippines, which is covered by the PhilHealth package, is required to undergo the newborn screening. With the newborn screening, na-detect natin ang mga batang may thalassemia. So, therefore, pwede natin siyang bantayan. For alpha thalassemia, as early as pagkaanak, malalaman na natin kung may anemia siya. For beta thalassemia, malalaman natin to kung may anemia siya at the age of 6 months to 1 year old. So usually, we advise that a child should be seen at birth. Siyempre, pag-follow up natin sa check-up kung meron siyang result ng newborn screening and at 6 months of age. Ang isa pa sa joke namin dito, ang thalassemia kasi nagiging problema kung ang nanay at tatay ay parehong may thalassemia. So what if ang anak nyo may thalassemia pero hindi kailangan salinan ng dugo? Ang tawag doon, trait lang. Meron lang siyang namana na isang gene. Para maging problema, 2 gene ang kailangan mamana. E paano kung kay papa lang nakuha? 1 gene lang. So yung bata, safe. Pero, ang sinasabi namin, kung yung anak mong lalaki ay thalassemia trait, meaning may namana sa'yo na isang gene, kailangan bago siya mag-girlfriend, kailangan ipa-CBC din yung girlfriend. Kasi kung may thalassemia yung girlfriend niya at may thalassemia siya, yung magiging anak nila kawawa. So as much as possible, we discourage na ang isang thalassemia trait ay makapangasawa ng isang another thalassemia trait. So, ngayon, uso na. Pag ang anak nyo may hemoglobinopathy sa newborn screening, paglaki niya, bago mag-girlfriend or mag-boyfriend, sabihan, o anak, tanungin mo muna yung magulang ng girlfriend or boyfriend mo kung may hemoglobinopathy din. Kung may hemoglobinopathy, pa-CBC muna natin, kundi delikado tayo dyan. So that is one of the key features of preventions of thalassemia. Bawal mag-asawa ang 2 thalassemia trait. So bawal mag-asawa as much as possible. Kung ma-detect pa lang, kung may anemia na yung girlfriend or boyfriend, unfortunately, hindi sila meant to be.
May questions from our friends on video?
Doc, good morning po.
Good morning po.
Since yung thalassemia hindi nakamamatay, Doc, what will happen to those hindi regularly nagpapa-blood transfusion? Just curious po.
Children who don't regularly receive blood transfusion will develop heart failure. Kasi pag anemic ka, bumababa yung kakayanan ng dugo natin na mag-deliver ng oxygen. So anong gagawin ng katawan? Magko-compensate. Magpapump yung heart natin kasi malabnaw yung dugo natin to compensate for the delivery of oxygen. Anong mangyayari? Lalaki yung heart, magkakaroon ng cardiomyopathy at magkakaproblema tayo sooner or later. Within 3 to 6 months, if hindi cardiac problem ang magiging problem ng bata, magkakaroon siya ng anemia na makakakos na mamatay siya. So a child who will not be transfused will develop cardiomyopathy and within 3 to 6 months may die out of the anemia that the child has. So, delikado ang pagsali ng dugo sa batang may thalassemia kung ito ay sunod-sunod kasi nga magkakaroon ng iron overload, pero mas delikado kung isang batang thalassemia hindi rin sasalinan ng dugo. So may solusyon naman tayo. To prevent iron overload, sige natin transfuse, may binibigay tayong mga gamot na ang tawag natin is iron chelators. Yung iron chelators, ang purpose niya is ipalabas yung excess na iron na nagbi-build up sa blood because of the chronic transfusion. Ang problema lang, medyo mahal itong mga iron chelators. So yung mga pasyente nating may thalassemia, gumagastos na sila sa pagsali ng dugo, gumagastos pala sila sa iron chelators. That's why we appreciate government agencies or even people or organizations that help these children finance their iron chelators. So, sasagutin ko po yung tanong natin, kung walang transfusion, delikado, maaring mamatay within 3 to 6 months. Kung sasalina na naman ng dugo, meron po tayong gamot to remove the excess iron, pero medyo mahal lang po.
Thank you, Doc. How about po, Doc, itong edad ng mga bata at what age po usually lumalabas itong thalassemia?
Usually po, sa dalawang uri po ng thalassemia, yung alpha, lumalabas po pag panganak pa lang. Malalaman na natin agad kung meron siyang thalassemia major. Pero po, kung beta thalassemia, 6 to 12 months old. So within 1 year of life, malalaman na natin kung may thalassemia isang bata na kailangan ng salina ng dugo.
Ilang bags po ng dugo yung sinasalin every month doon sa mga patients po?
1 bag po usually ang sinasali natin.
Dito po, Doc, how about yung sa bone marrow transplant center
Yes po?
na plan po natin? Is it free? May bayad? Magkano po?
Since we're a government institution that caters to public hospital, as much as possible, we try to decrease the cost for patients. Pero po kasi medyo mahal ang bone marrow transplant. If magpapa-bone marrow transplant po tayo sa Manila, it will cost about 4 to 5 million pesos because it is a private institution. Pero po in a public, as part of a society, part po kasi ako ng society na ang tawag namin Philippine Society of Bone Marrow Transplant, we are pushing for a PhilHealth package for bone marrow transplant for patients with thalassemia. So therefore, kung may PhilHealth package, the cost will be definitely lower. Hindi ko lang masabi kung free, it depends on the agreement namin with the PhilHealth, pero as much I do not think it would cost as much as sa Manila na 4 to 5 million.
Thank you po, Doc. Good morning po, Doc.
Yes po, good morning.
Does it matter po ba kung boy or girl yung bata? May difference po ba sa thalassemia po?
Very good question ulit po, ma'am. Sa hemophilia po kasi usually boy. Kasi it's an X-linked disorder. Ang ano po kasi ng thalassemia, it is a autosomal recessive, meaning hindi po ito nagmamatter kung anong sex chromosome. Meaning, pwede pong mamana sa nanay, pwede pong mamana sa tatay, pwede din po mag-reflect sa anak na lalaki, pwede din po mag-reflect sa anak na babae. So, wala po siyang sexual predilection because it is not sex-linked na disease po. So, pwedeng babae, pwedeng lalaki.
Sir, may data po ba tayo kung sino ang mas madami na cases sa boy, sa girl?
Equal po ang kanyang predilection sa boy at sa girl. Pareho lang po sa babae sa lalaki, almost 1:1 po ang ratio.
Thank you po.
My questions because we'll be moving to our second part. Carlo? Okay. Okay, aside from thalassemia and yung leukemia, ano po yung mga prevalent or common blood disorder dito that you're handling sa SPMC na parang unique siya sa region?
There are certain cases that we handle, pero occasional cases, there's nothing necessarily unique. Unique lang in a way na ang dami nating kaso kasi sa atin nare-refer. Because, for example, I am also seeing patients sa Digos. Unfortunately, they do not have the capability to do chemotherapy. So, yung mga pasyente from Davao del Sur Provincial Hospital are still being referred to us. So, ito pa rin itong mga cases na to paulit-ulit. Thalassemia, leukemia, lymphoma, at iba pang uri ng blood diseases. So, not necessarily sure na may specific tayo from Davao that is very dominant, pero it's mainly thalassemia, leukemia, and lymphoma po.
Daghang kay salamat, Dr. Christian. Parting statements or meron ba kayo events or activities that in line with the advocacy that will be holding?
Ako meron kaming postgraduate course sa SPMC sa pediatrics, but that will be on September. We encourage healthcare professionals, not only pediatricians, but family medicine and general practitioners to attend our postgraduate on September. Now, ang main advocacy ko is these children with thalassemia requires blood. They require blood from 2 weeks to 4 weeks. That is every 2 weeks to monthly basis. And we are currently having shortage of blood products. And I believe that most Filipinos and Davaoenos are healthy despite the challenges that we are having right now. So I advocate that blood donations be done once in a while. pwede po tayo mag-donate every 6 months. And in that 6 months, madami na pong yung isang dugo na binigay natin could already help a child for that month. So more people donating every 6 months could help these children survive and have a better life. So if there would be one advocacy that I would wish for every Dabawenyo, that is, let us be active donors of blood. Other than that, thank you very much for this invitation. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Dagat salamat, Dabawenyos. Thank you po ulit.
Okay. Last kasi, blood, yung donation, may cases pa na turn away yung mga thalassemia na bata because walang blood?
Yes po, madaming kaso na nade-delay silang ma-admit kasi walang available blood or nagsistay sa hospital habang naghihintay ng dugo. Tapos, ang problema po, pag naghihintay sila sa hospital, instead na salinan na ng dugo, maaari pa po silang makakuha ng infeksyon galing sa ibang mga batang may sakit. So, mas maganda po sana na pagpasok pa lang nila, masalinan na agad ng dugo. So, which requires na there would always be an available blood in the blood bank for these children.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Christian Masakupan, the consultant, oncologist, Department of Pediatrics, SPMC, for this Monday's Healthy Davao Media Forum. Salamat, sir.
Thank you po, Len. Have a good day po.
And part 2 of our Kapehan will be reverting to Kapehan. We have Regional Director of Department of Labor and Employment 11, Randolph Pensoy, to talk about Labor Day activities May 1. And he is joined by focal persons from the department. We have Rodrigo Roble and Suzette Jane Antiveros. Meron silang job fair. Okay. At naman sir, RD, kay live kasi tayo, so mag-talk ka lang. Okay, so again, nandito po to acknowledge our guests, no? We have observing us the European Union Election Observation Mission Philippines, led by Sir Lucas Domaradsky, sa social media analyst. Meron siyang ibibigay sa mga ating kaibigan sa media, baka meron silang ibibigay na they'll be handing out fact sheets on the election observation mission. So, ayun. So we are joined by our friends from the Dole. May 1 na naman, no? There's a job fair. We have Rodrigo Roble, Regional Dilip. Ano po ang Dilip? Focal person at Region 11. And we have Suzette Jane Antiveros, Regional Employment Program. Okay, RD Randolph, take it away. Ano po yung ating activity this May 1?
Ayong buntag sa tanan, sa atong tagapaminaw, tagatanaw sa atong programa, labi na sa atong Public Information Authority nga facilitate ani sa mga partners. Thank you very much for joining, and we are here to inform and to facilitate our 123rd Labor Day celebration. And this year, we proudly celebrate Labor Day with the theme, Ang Gagawang Pilipino, Kaagapay sa Pagunlad, Sandigan ng Mas Matatag na Bagong Pilipinas. I am joined with my partner also and also implementers of our program, the regional focal of our employment, Ms. Suzette Antiveros. Pwede na ako i-plug, kanaga pa ni siya, inangan na siya partner. Nangit ko siya, kung ako ang regional focal for emergency employment and livelihood programs, si Sir John Robley. Kami dari sa regional office. And I will continue. As the government agency, DOLI, mandated to promote gainful employment, the Department of Labor is once again taking the lead in mounting a major job fair in line with the 123rd Labor Day celebration. And this year, DOLI Davao Region excited to announce that we will hold job fairs across 4 sites and 2 schedules. On April 30, job fairs will be conducted in Tagum City and in Ligo City. May 1, simultaneous job fairs will take place in Nabunturan, Davao de Oro, and in Davao City, which will serve as our major job fair. So, nata diri sa SM. A total of 45 employers have committed to participate, offering more than 9,000 job vacancies across various industries. A testament to our continuing efforts to continue job seekers with meaningful employment and opportunities. And in addition to the job fairs, we have lined up with several key activities, awarding of fund grants under the DOLE Integrated Livelihood Program, payment of wages for beneficiaries under the Emergency Employment, one-stop services featuring assistance from various government agencies during job fair, kadiwa ng Pangulo para sa manggagawa, providing affordable goods for workers, and information service caravan for the Child Labor Prevention and Elimination Program, and the celebration of World Day for Safety and Health at Work, which are celebrating today, April 28, yung World Day for Safety and Health at Work, and a multi-sectoral dialogue of capacity building activities to support the promotion and protection of freedom of associations. These activities not only happen on May 1, but there are activities that has been conducted yesterday, last week, today, and until May 1, and after May 1. Together, these activities aim not only to generate employment, but also to uphold workers' rights, enhance the welfare, and build a stronger, more resilient workforce, the true foundation of a more robust, prosperous new Philippines. Daghang salamat, and we are looking forward for more engagement and questions from our media practitioners with the help of my focal persons from the Department of Labor Region 11. Thank you very much.
Okay,
You got my classroom.
thank you, RD. We'd like to also to get the statement siguro of our focal persons o say mahitabo regarding their mga focal no from from the emergency employment and also sa regional employment. Sir Rodrigo.
Sorry, medyo delicate na ako mga tungog. But I would like to share that one of the highlights of our Labor Day this coming May 1 is also the kadiwa ng Pangulo para sa manggagawa. This is one way of providing our informal sectors who are also beneficiaries of intervention from the government. So, for instance, we are inviting beneficiaries from the Department of Agriculture, 11. We are also inviting the Department of Trade and Industry, 11, no, yung kanilang mga assisted projects. And we also have assisted project from the Department of Labor and Employment. So we are expecting 12 enterprises to participate. However, meron pa lang po tayong 10. Ano, yung dalawa is for confirmation for today as part of providing the to complete the 12. So if ever we would like to maximize na lang the time, no, ang mga ibebenta po nila is more on fresh vegetables, fruits, no, spices, root crops. Meron din po tayong cacao tablia. We have vinegar, cocoa wine, we have chocolates, we have chicharon, we have balot, no, from one of our beneficiaries. We have jams, no, pineapple jams. We have milk and ice cream. So these are part of our assisting our informal sector and farmers, among others, para din makapag-provide tayo ng marketing linkages sa kanila. So that's one of the highlights besides Labor Day po. Thank you.
Seth?
Good morning sa tanan, no? This has already been mentioned by our General Director, but would like to highlight lang kung saan yung mga job fairs to be conducted in different provinces. So in Ligo City, we have job fair exclusive for manufacturing and service industries, offering around 750 3 vacancies. And in Tagum City, we have one which is exclusive for our first-time job seekers. So naasab tayo one-stop shop for our first-time job seekers na pagabuhaton ana. And we will offer around 1,367 vacancies. And in Nabunturan, this will be exclusive for our mining industry with around 327 vacancies. Here in Davao, our major activity will be conducted here in SM City. And we are glad to announce that in Davao, we have around 6,741 vacancies covering 45 companies, 38 for local and 7 for overseas.
Okay, so ang mga job yung events, no, this is in Nabunturan, the purely mining at Tagum, may ito yung mga construction, manufacturing,
Indigo, sir.
Digo, wala sa Tagum.
Ang Tagum is for our first-time job seekers.
Then Digos, so apat na
Yes, sir.
lugar sa Region 11. Attorney Pensoy, ano yung mga main industries sa karamihan na naghahanap ng mga trabahante or kamanggagawa?
Yes, yung mga industries. Actually, the list are given and if you would like to have it, I would just have to mention the top 6 or top 5 vacancy industries. Yung type of industry, administrative and support service activities. We offering for 3,504 vacancies. And the wholesale and retail trade industry or the financial insurance activities, manufacturing, banking and finance industry, top 6 ni sila, accommodation and food services activities and health wellness. So a total of, for these industries only, a total of 4,701 vacancies for 260 positions.
Questions of our friends from the media? Kat?
Hi, sir. Good morning. Sir, may I know lang po, yung mga available jobs nato for the job fair, kumusta ang ano nito, sir, ang market na ato ang gina-address? Is this for the Philippines or we are more catering market abroad?
As mentioned in my opening statement, Kat, thank you very much, Kat. Opening statement ako, natay local o natay overseas. Ang atong local, natay 38 employers participating. And then ang atong vacancies offered, 4,701. Sa overseas, natay 7. Kung naabot tayo 7 employers. And the number of vacancies, 2,040. So, karon Kat, natay duha ka, dili lang ta lokal, kung naabot tayo outside or sa abroad. O natay 6,741 sa atong local and vacancies. Pero karon nadungagan karon as of this April 2028, ang atong vacancies 9,188. So kato pa ning niagi mga adlaw niya, ang latest nato karon na natay 9,188.
Sir, out of this 9,000 vacancies, how many jobs, sir, would cater K-12 graduates? And siguro compared last year's jobs fair on May 1, pila pod ang atuang na-hire?
Thank you very much, Scott, for that question. We are challenged also to have that our department to provide. Actually, wala pa na mo ma-address how much or what is the data of catering those who have graduated the K-12. As our focal, si Suzette of employment, we will have to address that. Because it's a good question. Kami nagadepende po sa submission at the same time sa amuang data which we have to commit for our targets sa central office. Wala pa man good gihatag sa mua. But we will have to facilitate that. We will ask the PSA and then coordinate it with some of our partners and also with our partner at the regional focal to address that question. That is a good question. That's a good question.
In connection to that, sir, are we also including in our contracts with tawag nito, with the companies joining the jobs fair to include in its parang requirements ang katong mga K-12 graduates?
So far, the application of our partners, we did not give them a mandate, but we encourage them to give also importance of the applicants for our K-12 program and K-12 targets or graduates. We only encourage them at least to facilitate and give also at least a percentage of employment or perhaps to give accommodations. But it's a good question. It's a good question considering that the program, the government considered also that there is a K-12 program and the intention is to land them a proper job and a decent job. Good question that our regional focal, without even first the mandate of the central office to accommodate any information, but we will facilitate.
Last one, K-12, sir. Of course, this is not the first time DOLE will facilitate a jobs fair May 1. And K-12 has been there ilang years naman na. Can you give us parang hindi naman an update or siguro, a sharing on kung meron ba tayong mga success stories hiring K-12 graduates on our jobs fair, and if meron or wala, what are the challenges we are facing based on our experience on giving jobs fair on A1?
I would give my answer and also ask also my total to elaborate. One of the things that we are so proud of with respect to P12 is the program of government internship program, or GIP natin. We see to it that those graduates, particularly graduates of the senior high school, to land a particular job, particularly in the government, amo silang i-train so that their intentions to land a proper job in the government would also be facilitated. But not only for the senior high school, senior high school or K-12, not only in the government, but also in the private sectors. But the keynote of the GIP is particular to the government. However, in some of the programs keynote to the private, we accommodate and also have a program with the PESO, the Public Employment Service Office, to facilitate and also to communicate and perhaps to have an agreement with our local government units. Kasi yung PESO natin is an institution for public employment doon sa mga local governments natin. So sila ang nag-facilitate that this program of P12 will somehow land a good job in a particular local government. Not only in the local government, maybe in national approach and also in overseas training. Because meron naman yan sila mga certificate of completion and certificate of compliance with particular training. And I can ask also my regional focal if there are any possibility or any information that you could give. Right?
So thank you. On the question mo if we are offering vacancies or job opportunities for our senior high school graduates, actually we have a lot of vacancies, especially sa service and manufacturing industry. So dathandang mga kinapangita o mga clerks, ginahatag nato na sa mga high school graduates as well as senior high graduates. And that's right. Ingon ni RD, we offer government internship program. Sana included ang ato ang mga senior high school graduates, providing them the opportunity to learn how it is done ang trabaho sa government agencies. And we do not have the exact data right now kung pila ato ang mga vacancies na offering for our senior high or high school graduates, but definitely we can provide after this briefing.
For last na lang po. I don't know if
Last na yun ba?
and Ma'am Suzette can also answer, but there's a surge of virtual assistance jobs, no? Not just in Davao City but in the Philippines, obviously. So ang atuang jobs fair, sir, ilan ang mga companies na nag-signify ng join sa jobs fair, and also compared last year siguro, kumusta ang turnout when it comes to fresh graduates applying for virtual job? Virtual jobs.
Thank you for that question, ma'am. No, actually, virtual assistant jobs or mga customer service representative jobs or online jobs, actually, mauna ang top na itong vacancy karon May 1. So we have around 1,723 including the talent acquisition specialist with around 700 vacancies. So, napatay mga content moderators, mao ni ang atuang top 3. So, karon makita nato dako gyud kaayo ang labor market and demand for this type of jobs.
Again, got the question of data. At least at very least, we are not in the central office mandated to, but we will facilitate as an initiative. One of the things is that the PSA is also have to provide one. Our office, with that question, we will somehow ask and profile those. That's a good question. How the program of these 12 or E12 being facilitated with gainful employment from the Department of Labor and Employment. So we will just have to ask companies and then ask them in our visitorial power enforcement how many of those senior high school or graduate from K-12 are facilitated.
Hello, sir. Good morning. John D. Esteban, sir, sa GMA. John D. Sir. Mask, sorry. Okay. Okay. It's okay, it's okay. Sir, sa labor force participation rate, it says here na 60.9% in January 2024. More individuals ang nag-age 15 years old and over na nag-actively participate sa tuang labor force. If I'm not mistaken, we have this youth employability program. How much budget has been allocated on that program and how is it going?
I will ask my focal itong budget allocations.
Youth, sa specific program, youth employability
program. For SPES, we have around 23 million intended for Davao region now. So that is divided to different provinces, and we have just started the selection of our beneficiaries, and pauna lang nako ning opportunity kung naay mga estudyante dira nga interested to join sa SPES, you can visit our local public employment service offices or PESO and inquire what are the requirements, and hopefully madawat sila, no, and hopefully mo join sila or mo visit sila sa PESO as early as April or May because we are targeting na commence na ang program process.
What are also our, sir, yung mga labor issues natin or cases commonly na ito ang gina-resolve and how many are resolved pa and ongoing?
Okay, if you would talk about the compliance rate or DOLE, yung sa general labor standards natin, you would talk about general labor standard, about na yung minimum wage, yung mga holiday pay, at the same time yung atong social benefits remittance of the kasi ongoing pa almost 95% compliance natin sa labor standard. And if we go to the occupational safety and health program, yung mga health and services, safety and health of the establishment, 90% ng compliance natin sa ating. Now, if you ask them, why not 100%? Kasi mayroong mga employer, they challenge our visitorial and enforcement, particularly yung differential of wages and yung itawag na to minimum wage. Considering then that our minimum wage in the Davao region has already taken effect last March 7. Naging 510 na yung non-agree at saka 505 ang agree. So, napamagoy ongoing mga what do you call this, determinations of how the employer challenge the program of these labor standard particular minimum wages. But so far, almost 95%. And kung ilis na comply ko, naman ko tayo balaod, Ms. Janty, na you will be double identifying any liability to the employee. So, ang employer, not only you are double identified, but you are also liable for any fines and for imprisonment. So, taas ang ato ang tawag og labor standards. But if you would ask kung tanan ba ang establishment nato na comply, that I would say, well, dili na mo maapas, but there is always a mandate to have this visitorial and enforcement. And again, I would always be asking, I would be always be saying my categorical note. Gamay ra nga mo ang tawag nato labor inspectors, or 42 ra ba? Around 42 labor inspectors, the whole Davao region na niya. Ang ato ang target nato is almost 2,000 for the establishment. Okay, ang program namo sa mga inspectors, dili lang magud sila cater into visitorial na magud kun may kanang gitawag na mo tupad emergency tupad program, livelihood program, or any employment facilitation sa ato. Gitawag na to daghang servisyo na kami. I would not say it's an excuse, and I would not say a sorry, but I would just have to know na limited ang among numbers. But we will be always with the mandate of Article 128 of the family of the labor code to facilitate visitorial and enforcement to that labor. Kasi diyan kayo wata ka mga prito.
It's okay, sir. How about the labor cases nato, sir? And how many are resolved? Kung may available data tayo. And what are the matter on case?
Wala tay data na ko gihatag sa ko karon, but the issues that are involved in these violations of all those labor cases, first is the basic wage pay. Ihatag na lang nako ang top 5 violations of the general labor standard. Second is the record keeping. Employer is mandated to have record keeping. And third is the non-interference in the disposal of wages and allowable. Gitawag na ito, pila-pilang employer ba, panalitan, magbuhat sila tuok, or magbuhat ng tindahan ang employer niya. Mapaliton ka rito, that is considered as interference. Function ka magpalit, that ay rito. And the 13-month pay. Another thing is the SSS, PhilHealth, and Pag-ibig coverage. Those are the 5 labor standard violations for the DLS. Diri na mong ta sa occupational safety and health na atay 5 pod ka violations nga prioritize. No safety officer, no first aider, no fire safety inspection certificate issued by the Bureau of Fire, and the 8-hour orientation of all workers on occupational safety and health, and no OSH program. Those are the labor cases filed. And as I mentioned, some have been complied. That's why we have the general labor standard 93%, more than 93% compliance, and for the OS 92.62%. Why is not 100? Because some of the employers are first they challenge the determination, but there are also cases na in a period of correctional period pa, pwede pa na i-correct into 80 days after the order of compliance issued to a particular. Tapos ay 20 days period.
Okay, sir. Sir, last question na lang. We have a number of establishments na nag-submit ng termination. What are our intervention sa mga affected workers? We have, I think, more than 1,000 affected workers for those establishments na nag-submit ng termination.
So far, the termination report due to economic reasons as of March 31, 2025, establishment that affected 44, affected workers 1,101, establishment temporarily closed, there are 2 establishments, and affected workers 21, establishment permanently closed, there are 14, and affected workers 268. So, I think my focal also can provide some elaboration, but these are the data that has been given to me, and those affected workers. Maybe Ms. Said,
So for the intervention no, sa ato ang mga workers na naging affected because of retrenchment or closure, basically we refer them to the DELEAP program. So we provide livelihood and emergency employment program, and maybe our focal for DELEAP can provide inputs on this one. But to give you an idea lang po, majority of the industries na nag-reflect of closure or retrenchment are actually coming from the banana industry. So tungod po na sa ato ang concern on the economic wise no, especially on the export and import of chemicals as well as the banana products.
Well, ang isa sa mga tinutulong na Tagalog, okay ba? Ang isa sa mga ginabuhat nato, especially if may report na inunaan atong gina-refer kay naman tayo mga field offices, no? So ang isa gid sa atong programa nga dali kaayo nga atong pwedeng mahatag sa mga apektado nga mga workers kining ato ang emergency employment na program, no? So since March pa ni siya, if you would like to ask pila jud ani ka buok, I cannot provide exactly first the data because I wanted to ensure kung sa mga field offices kung pila sa out of this number pila ang naka-avail. But nonetheless, that is really one of our intervention that we can provide to our workers affected. Yes, tupad ba? Iipi tupad. Opo. Iipi tupad.
Hindi po sila, Miss Janty, our livelihood profile and emergency employment could also somehow evaluate if the employers or the employee are organized, particularly na as a grupo, pwede sila makapag-assistan into livelihood program. The tupad is for individual. But if they have already an association or group, they can register to our office and with the evaluations and verifications from the regional focal of livelihood and emergency employment, any facilitations of livelihood program can be given, provided we have enough funds downloaded with the center. Walang kita.
Kung sila po affected sa isa ka gikan sa isa ka establishment o pwede sila they can make a group na kami from a different establishment na siguro tulungan sila.
I will ask my vocal to address if how it would be done and how it be addressed.
Ang ato kay klaro ang question, ma'am. Kung lahi-lahi unsay mahitabo, no? Wala tayong problema, ma'am, because it's the right, no? Forming an association is a right. So regardless kung asa siya gikan. But the common is, especially kung isa sila ka company, o example, mga 20 sila ka buok, ang common yun, sila rin yun ang mag-uban because they know already each other, no? Pwede yun kayo sila mag-form of sa association if they wanted to avail of our goal integrated livelihood program because naaman tayo group intervention. So amo na lang po na siyang ibaligya if in that case it's good to know na naami bagong order karon Department Order 239-A na from the start sa una is 1 million lang tong pinakadako ito na himong 1.5 karon if they can form an association na 51 members and above they can avail the maximum amount of 3 million. In that way, no, it could really be a good way that we can start. Dugay-dugay naman ni siya, but I would like to share this one if they wanted to be inspired. Na ato'y kaniadto natanggal niya, mananahi sila, natanggal sila, o niya, nagrupo sila, and then they become an organization sa mga mananahi. And we provided intervention sa ilaha. And by doing so, gani, they were able to be nominated as one of the best Dolly Assisted Project tungod kay na timing ba no ang ilahang gusto niya ilahang trabaho kani adto so we provided the materials and tools and they form an organization no? So that's an example so sa katong mga natanggal sa trabaho if it is pasok sa amo ang criteria as well as there is an availability of funds no Dolly would really assist those affected workers po.
Good morning, Jaisal po sa GMA sa Peradyo Davao. RD, dapat ay mga specific or particular ng mga industriya karon nga nanginahanglan yun o empleyado?
First name ganini mo.
Jaisal RD.
Sir, thank you very much. Actually, yung ato ang virtual assistance, yung mga PPOs, they really need, ano ang pinakataas na ito ron, mga 1,700 sila karoon sa mga virtual assistants na mga customer service services, mga buta na to, mga online services offered, mo na pinakataas karon. And they really need that particular job, employment and additional job resources from our mga bagong graduates or first graduate or perhaps they already landed in job but they're looking for more potential workers nga mag-join sa ilang work environment.
Or di na may target, karon sa to ang job fair sa May 1, na ma-hire ng mga empleyado?
Ang kasagaran na mo sa central office at least makakuha mig mga uban nga 10% lang ang ilang gusto magkuha hire on the spot. May uban 15. Kami gusto na mo at least more than of that 15%. Mo na makaingon ta ba, I'm very honest to tell you. Ang job fair has been working for so many years and even funded by the government, particularly our department. Daghan kayo ang nag-signify of vacancies and employers. But so sad to note, gamay lang ang landed into that particular job fair. Tayo may utang nga mga 10% at 15%. Para sa mga murag frustrating na our part. But I would say, we cannot dictate the prerogative of the employers to have that kind of person to join them in the particular job workforce. But we are encouraging and praying for our employers, considering that they have this number of vacancies open and publicized. We hope that that job fair, that sobra unta sa among expect na 15%, at least 20-30%. Why? Because it would also speak for our work. It would also put invitation that this program has done well. Kaya kung gamay rin na makaasamuha kayo katbuta o daghan at facilitation of employment, but only few landed on hard on the spot. We cannot dictate them as to their prerogatives, but we can ask them, please also. Pwede po ninyo na ihawag ang atong mga employers na nanghangyo may ang atong mga workers o ang atong employers, at least ilahang tagaan o priority those who are also applying jobs during jobs fair. Pero mo gyapon na ako na ng pangayo. Salamat Giselle for that.
Morning, RD.
RD. Kaniya, Monmod naman. Si Arman po, sir, from Radyo Pilipinas. Sir Mo, in connection with your answer kaganya, sir, no, halos almost every year, almost every year ito nagapaygayon ng mga jobs fair, no, every labor. Napay mga ubang agencies nga nagapaygayon ng kining jobs fair. Pero ang paano to, sir, ba is, pero sa kaya na time no nga, dili na ito magpahigay ng jobs fair, it's because nanay trabaho tanan. And then, bisag, paano, balik-balik na ito, sige, paano jobs fair, pero taas niya po unemployment rate every year,
Actually, mo po na mo ang man, mo po na mong ipangayo, and we are praying for that everyone would have to land a proper job and a decent job. That is one of the mandates of Dolly, to facilitate gainful employment. And the question is, sana wala na unta ni mga jobs fair tanan. Mao pa na mo pangayo. And mao magud ang kani magud ato mga employers, even if everybody has employed, naapod gyud sila gipangita pod nga muhaom silang workforce. And that is a right given to the employers. Nga moingon sila ba, miski nanay mga empleyado, pero naapod yun sila gipangita na that somehow can give best services and facilitate more income to them. Di mo na ito sila ma-erase. But we are looking and praying for that. So everybody has a job and hope there is no more any jobs fair. But considering that employers, particularly, that they are looking for the best person in their department, maski pag nanay mga empleyado diyan, pwede man na nila nga mangita-taglain to have another person who can be the best work additional in our work environment.
Gusto mo mga long-term programs na po, sir, no, para maibsan or somehow, no, medyo mababa na mapaubos na ito ng percentage sa itong unemployment rate sa naso. Wala pa mga programs ang DOLE for this?
Pumunta na akong vocal sa livelihood as a employment program at inyatag sa yan.
Sir. That's a good question, no? Because recently, naatay ipagawas na bagong programa sa Department of Labor and Employment. Mauni siya ang Career Development Support Program. So, isa sa programa or isa sa concern na nakita ato, anong naagi hapoy unemployment rate na taas is because of the jobs mismatch. So, mo nang ato ang i-introduce ang Career Development Support Program because one of our target is for us to provide the labor market information. So daghan tag mga kabataan karon nga wala pay idea no unsa ba ang sitwasyon sa labor market. Unsa ba ang mga in-demand jobs or occupations, no? Unsa ba ang mga occupations na dali lang sila makapangita because kani daghan kayong offering sa mga companies. So dira sa CDSP or Career Development Support Program, dili lang mga estudyante pud ang atuang target. Target sa nato katong mga naay skills or katong kinahanglan i-improve ang ilang skills through our vocational program. And then we also have the employee orientation or coaching. So kani siya is through our PESO as well as our human resource offices wherein ato ang tagaan og chance na kaning mga empleyado mutaas pa ang ilahang chance sa mga promote or improve ang ilahang career path within the organization.
Ano sa nagsugod, ma'am? And na ba nag-avail ani nga mga programs kami CDSP?
Yes, sir. Last year, gi-release ang akong department order ani and of course, this is being conducted already by our Public Employment Services Office. So, katong tanan nga nibisita sa PESO, probably naka-avail sila ani nga benepisyo. So, kani siya is ginatagaan lang natong ideya ang mga aplikante or job seekers kung sa ilang angay buhaton or if we need to endorse them to test up for upskilling or reskilling or endorse to other companies offering additional jobs or vacant positions.
Estimate kung pila na nag-avail diri sa atong mga PESO offices?
As of now, I don't have the data but we can provide later on, sir. But kung ato ang tanawon, dako-dako na pud ang ato ang na-capture na mga job seekers na natagaan aning CDSP. And in fact, karong job fair na sa CDSP desk na ihatag para mo entertain sa mga job seekers na makita nato nga daghang mismatch sa ilang mga qualification.
Aside from the tawagan ni kaning mga companies na mahatag silang employment na si Dole pod is mo offer pud ani nga program service sa to ang mga job seekers.
Yes po, assistance po. We assist them in helping them decide kung ano sa career path nilang piliin.
Napo ni sa karuliwan diri sa.
Yes, sir, na.
Good morning, everyone. RD, good
Ako lang
morning.
i-additional tong ipangayon ni Arman. Karong ato ang May 1, natay one-stop shop for government service. Natay pulo ka agencies joining. And there are special services also to be offered by DOLE. O itong giingon ni Suzette, yung Career Development Support Desk, Job Application Support Desk, and the DOLE Clinic. Meron tayong DOLE Clinic. Tawag na itong Assistant for Labor Relations, Labor Standard and Livelihood Concern and Inquiries. Yung sa mga agencies, o itong pulo kabok NBI, PSA, Pag-ibig, DTI, SSS, PRC, PhilHealth, DMW, PIRIT. Yes, ma'am.
RD, good morning. Juvet Espanyol po of XFM Davao. RD, it was mentioned earlier yung opportunity for our K-12 graduates. How about po sa ating mga senior citizens in Davao region?
About employment regular?
Yes po.
Actually, ang amuang program is more for the senior na atay livelihood o emergency employment. Pero so far, sa amuang gitawag na to kanang sa senior citizen, na may mandato ng amount of 1%. And also with the yung person with disability, at least per agency na ami accommodate 1% na. So far sa among opisina, we are compliant because we are the one promoting employment and giving services and access to all. Na aming mga PP o tip and youth in our department joining in our workforce as contractual and department coordinators. So far with the with the senior citizen, we encourage our partner if they can provide facilitation and employment sa ato ang mga senior citizen. But our program, particular Dolly, we have this emergency and livelihood program. I think our vocal can elaborate that with them.
Sige ma'am, ang imong pangutana ma'am, ato sang himay-himayon gamay kay medyo technical bang ma'am no. Kung ingon magutag senior citizen nga mo apply sa formal, kabalo man ta nga og sa private siya, naa man ay retirement gid ma'am. So meaning, mao na to'y taman sa iyahang pagtrabaho no. Sa government maupod no, maugutungtong tak-ani nga edad, mabilag senior, maundang mapunta sa ito ang trabaho. Pero kung mangutanan ta karon, naabay balaod para sa mga kumpanya nga mo-hire sila o mga senior citizen, or is the government obliged or mandated no? Sa ako lang yung pagkahibalo no ha, in my personal note, wala tay balaod na kanang naga-encourage ta sa private no. Gani kung mutan-aw ta sa national aspect na ay mga LGUs nga naga-encourage no, like na pwedeng mo hire og mga senior no, katong capable pa no. So wala po siya nagbawal na pwedeng mag-hire. Pero ang question man good, unsay program kung kami ba makamandate kami nga maka-hire na so wala dili na to na ma-mandate nga dapat mo hire mo og 65, 62, 70 for that matter. Pero ang pangutana diri ta sa lain kaning informal no. Sa among amam sa livelihood o sa livelihood o sa tupad program no, we can cater them in the program itself. Sa DILP, katong gisulti ni RD, we are mandated nga dapat na ami mahatag na assistance to our senior citizen. No? Sa tupad po, mausad. No? Galing lang, we are not prepared for that because it was a surprise question. Sana kung prepared to, we can provide you with the data. But we have a lot of senior citizen na nakatupad, and we also have a lot of senior citizen na livelihood no, for that matter na nakakuha po og livelihood sa mga all over the region.
But Sir RD, no, ang OSCA right now is having a conversation, I think, with the private establishments, especially these mga restaurants, fast food restaurants, para mahatagan og opportunity sa mato ang mga senior citizens and support. I would like to ask unsa ang support sa part sa DOLE for this, and if ever matuloy na, especially here in Davao City, do we have any capacity building or training for our senior citizens?
That is a good question. At the same time, push our department to commit more services, particularly to the sector of senior citizen. Ang ako ang giingon nga, encourage them that there are those senior citizens, even if they have reached that point of 65 or 60, mas capable pa sila kaysa mga bata. But there are also those establishment kinahanglan na itong bag-o nga breeding ground. Ay parang dali na tuduan, no? Pero that somehow to speak with our partners. Kinsa yung gusto? Katubang na-experience na, o katong nagaanan pag-experience na tuduan na. May uban, experience na, lisod na tuduan. So that is the prerogative of our partners. However, we encourage them to facilitate. But the program then, if there is any, rest assured, DOLE will provide any capacity building. Any program that somehow capacitate, give more confidence, give more training, orientations to our partner implementers, establishment, and our beneficiaries, the senior citizens. You can assure that we did.
Hi sir, good morning. Jess of PTV. Yes sir. Part of DOLE's objectives for safety and healthy environment at work is promoting digital innovation sa mga workplace. Will there be any workshop type seminars na i-organize DOLE to further support the initiative po?
Thank you very much just for that question. Actually, the first question and the first activity is addressed to the persons who would have the enforcement and visitorial power. Kami man ang gitagaan. Tagaan yun niyo kaning capacity building. Where in fact, ang question is how we can disseminate and also give that program to our partners. We have this World Day to Safety and Health at Work. It is an international mandate to have this World Day for Safety and Health at Work. The theme is revolutionizing health and safety, the role of artificial intelligence and digitalization at work. Karon ni Metabo, April 28, 2025. Mao ni ang ato ang unang programa nga i-address. But again, I would say this has to be first addressed ako. I-address this ako. Now we will have this program this April 28, 2021 with this World Day for Safety and Health at Work with the theme Revolutionizing Health and Safety, the role of artificial intelligence and digitalization at work, which we have conducted today. Sa Apo View yata ang ato ang venue, and then so far wala pa ko kabalo kung pila ang attendee, but this afternoon also there is a continuation of this program. I have to attend after this, join with this World Day for Safety and Health at Work. This is in relation to occupational safety.
Okay,
Sige po, sir. RD, or anybody from the group, no? Makain ako breakdown. Noel Ramirez, sir. Makain ko breakdown sa katong more than 9,000 plus na job vacancies. Kung pila dito ang for regular position, pila ito ang contract basis na positions, and pila po dito ang commission basis o pila dito ang arawan.
So far, the list has been given, Sir Joel. There are employers joining, and of that employers joining, there are 45 of them. They are local and overseas. And the number of vacancies offered, and the number of occupations or positions. I would just have to give the list and the priority of those given a lot vacancies. First is the RMC Collect Philippines Incorporated. Yun ang number one. The first is the and second is this 611 Global Services and Solution 800 in the second. Sorry to as our limitations. Ang ato ang mga partners did not give or does not provide us this is regular contractual commission based. Only they have given opportunities for employment and vacancies. But so far, the numbers 9,000 plus vacancies. And with this note, and also with the information coming from our facilitations and the employment, most of them, or majority of these, are regular positions. But to the breakdown of how many, I personally say, wala mag-provide na lang. But most of them are regular.
Okay. Follow-up, RD. Nabatay balaod na that would require employers posting advertisements on vacancies to also indicate the salary rates of every position. Masyado silang mataas pag mag-demand sa qualification. Pero required pa sila to advertise also how much ang ilahang i-offer na salary?
So far, I've known one of the things that have been conducted yung sa alien employment, and part of that is the PhilJobNet. They are required to post vacant positions. And then their salaries at the position. So required yan sila. And also, that is part of the tutorial and enforcement practical that you should provide also information as to the positions that you are requiring, and also the personnel that you are hiring, ang qualification, and the salaries that you are giving. So, naas na mode of introduction or information or advertising. Yung ginawa natin film. And you can also post that into any conspicuous public places. And they can also visit Boli. to have that facilitation of information be conducted as mode of giving cascaded information to our mga job seekers.
But for this job fair, attorney, include na ba dito sa job listings ang corresponding salaries or optional siya for employers?
The list that I have with me, balay gihatag sa ko, but I would ask my vocal if with that particular information in relations to any particular job and salary is or has been provided. Pwede na ko sa iba to na naghatag ba nga ng mga partner implementation.
I hope na if ever na wala pa, then I think it's high time na to require them to also include that during the job fair.
Tagaan minimum additional, but it's good. It's a good showcase of any info. Thank you, Susan.
Yes, sir. Currently, sir, no, our postings, if you can check our official Facebook page, ang na-reflect lang nato dito is a job vacancy. So, wala ta nag-reflect o pang salary range nila. But again, sama sa imong ingon, we can consider that and maybe we can try that during our Kalayaan job fair on June 12.
Sir, gamay na lang yun, sir. In the report ng employment rate ng DOLE, sir, you mentioned here 97.1%, no? So, mataas ang employment rate ng Davao. May I know, sir, out of the 97.1%, how many are the contractuals and how many are the regular workers? And siguro, sir, by parang ang distribution nito in Davao region, saan yung may pinakamarami tayong hired workers?
Okay. My focal of implement can more elaborate. The figures of 97.1 speaks of employment rate compared to 2024, which is 96.4. Now the question is there any particular with respect to how the rate as a I would be honest with saying, very confident, most of the employment here in Davao City compared to other provinces. But if you will speak of pila ang regular, pila ang contractual, or pila ang kanang katawan ng seasonal, because if you speak of employment, kani mga itong employment, wala nakahatag sa PSA. We are dependent on the data provided by the PSA. If the PSA provides this, kasi siguro, we can ask them kung patagaan na ito sa trabaho, additional, can you provide any regular or any contractual? Kung may yung contractual kay dili siya, kasi the other time, hay na po ang mga trabaho, mag-desperate. A question of which, kasi kahangyo na ito sila, that to their kind of field of work, that would somehow part of their checklist or intake to ask questions of who are those regular, who are those contractual or seasonal or perhaps
and well, in connection to that, sir, also, siguro maybe DOLE can also determine ilan yung employment rate ng agency hired workers nato compared doon sa direct hired workers nato.
That's good, ma'am, no? And maybe we can coordinate with PSA since sila ang nagkakandak ng labor force survey. And the data we are presenting right now, such as the employment rate, underemployment, and employment rate, are dependent on the data provided by the PSA. So maybe we can coordinate with them and discuss kung possible ba itong hinihingi natin na data regarding their status.
Sir, gamay lang gid kaayo, RD. Since nagisgot naman tag data, wala magud ako na bantayan diri no. Ang data nato asa ba within Davao region has the highest employment rate, lowest employment rate, and the unemployment rate po.
To speak with numbers of how many establishment offered, the most, I would say, Davao City, ang taas ng employment rate. If you speak of unemployment, those particular regions ang occidental. Pero ang atong ubang provinces, they also facilitate for employment. So, Oriental and Davao del Norte. Pero sa to ang pinakataas sa Davao City. And if you have asked any province sa unemployment, daghan na to sa katong mga probinsya ng kayo. labi na sa Davao.
Can I ask for the figures of that?
Figures, wala akong ganahan nga side bagay particular, specific ang figures nga ngayon. Wala yung gihatag sa to ang PSA, but if it is given particularly by a province and they would somehow provide us, we can accommodate additional information. So far, the data does not speak of how many percent we provide. But I would say, and very honest, employment more here in the country.
Thank you, RD.
Okay,
Julius,
Itong giving warning na lang itong na din nag-solicit nga katungkat.
sa disclaimer naman is we have already issued an office order. Actually, murag si Sir John Roble ang nakakuha sa information and it was directed from our Labor Information Officer si Marian Pastora. Got our attention, our TSSD and our Assistant Regional Director and I, we highly deny and also condemn that activity. DOLI does not ask any payment or any facilitations or any obligations of what they call this for inspections in relation to technical advisory visit, labor inspections. We did not have any say on that, and neither there is no office order requiring anybody to ask any payment. Wala may nagapangayo. And in fact, our inspectors, they are wearing their designated ID and also their uniform. Kung among giawag ang publiko na nasa makita na pwede picture or tagoy video kay kami ang address pwede na kung sa final.
Sa final
Kaya
test.
kana siya, dili ginamo na siya gito. In fact, there is no mandate of DOLI to ask any payment from our micro, small, and medium enterprises or large enterprises in relation to our visitorial and enforcement.
So final question po. Apil bang dole nga program na suspended 10 days before the election?
Program? Tanan. Naagyot tay May 1 sa May 12 or May 12 o tanan. Pag May 12 election, wala gyud na siya holiday gyud na. Kita tanan have to ang program tanan. Election ban natay election ban started last January 12. Tanan na siya until June 12. Wala na may nag-conduct of recruitment or any transfer kay maigo ta sa technicality sa COMELEC resolution o sa civil service o sa among program sa employment facilitation. Murag wala may problema sa employment facilitation. Pwede may mo pwede na private na. Ang atoa lang kaning amo ang emergency employment of livelihood. Wala na may payout ang nangayatag from May 2 until May 12. Dili na pwede kay basig ma-color mi of electioneering. Naay mga exemptions gihatag ang COMELEC pero kutob ra pud sa May 1. Ako ang labor focal sa livelihood pwede siya mo address ana ko saon pag dadaan ng program.
Sa very clear naman sir na lumabas na din yung COMELEC resolution na we are exempted from yung mga possible programs na so sa ako ang part ang DILP o TUPAD is exempted pero taman lang siya sa May 1. The rest May 2 to 12 we will really strictly observe the COMELEC man.
Okay, we'd like to thank our guests, no?
Sir.
Parting statement, attorney, again, reiterate natin, ang event is May 1.
Sige, ako ang hangyo sa mga katawan sa Davao City, nga Musuroy, sa May 1, there is a Labor Day, o unta, mo participate sila sa kadiwa ng Pangulo para sa manggagawa. So, hangyo mininyo nga, mutabang mong palit, no? Ato na lang una-unaon nga kini usa ka pagtabang nato sa atong mga mag-uuma, mga gagmay negosyante aron nga mo-showcase sa ilahang mga produkto. Ang inyong pagpalit sa ilahang produkto dako kayo og tabang dili lamang sa ilaha as farmers, as entrepreneur, but also it will really help sa katong mga kauban nila nga diin nahimo o nakabuo sila og produkto. And rest assured na mas barato kini o presko kining ilahang mga ginabaligya. Salamat kayo.
Itong 20 per kilo rice sa kadiwa.
Pero sir, for the record, we invited NFA, so wala pa lang may kabalo kung they would sell that one. No? But we have already written, so wala pa lang may na-feedbackan if they will join the kadiwa ng Pangulo.
Dito na SM,
Yes,
mag-register pa dati yung online registration.
Opo, thank you, sir. Kani, ginaawhag lang po na mo ang kanang job seekers na interested to join sa atong job fair. Mas maayo nga mag-pre-register sila, no, kay para di na sila mo pila pa og taas dito sa walk-in ng mga applicants. So para maka-pre-register, kinahanglan lang sila magbisita sa official Facebook page sa DOLE, Department of Labor and Employment Davao Region. Makita nila ang mga job postings kung sa itong mga kumpanya o ang mga vacancies na ilang ginapangita. And they can search or visit the website https:/jobfair.dole11portal.org. Or pwede po sila kung ang uban nga job seekers interesado mag-apply sa laing provinces, they can check the official Facebook page para sa detailed na information.
Daghang salamat. Ako nagpasalamat sa Public Information Authority, PIA, ang classmates Rodo to have this kind of podium or way of having us showcase our program. Particularly this 123rd Labor Day celebration with the team Manggagawang Pilipino kaagapay sa pag-unlad, sandigan ng mas matatak na bagong Pilipinas. This is not only a job fair activity, but the activity of DOLE on May 1 are showcased. And we have also partners joining from the other agencies. And we are also, not only in May 1 that we have activities of this Labor Day. We have activities before May 1, kaya mayroon tayong mga job fairs in other provinces. And in relation to that, naabot tayo kanong World Day for Safety, karon sa Apo View. O after May 1, napay mga activities sa other provinces. Napagay mga sports and events in relation to this Labor Day. So I am encouraging everyone and also our partner implementers, yung mga employers, please help and give us number of hired on the spot. And to all applicants, do not hesitate, always have the guts to apply and always pray to God for the more blessings to come. Yan po sa mga opisina nga kanunay may naghahatag og serbisyo sa ato diri sa Davao. Daghang salamat sa atong partners, sa media, o sa atong tanan natin. O sa SM.
Okay, thank you so much to SM City Davao for hosting our Healthy Davao Media Forum and appearance sa Davao. Also to Krispy Kreme for the delicious donuts and coffee. Like to also acknowledge the presence of EU Electoral Observation Mission, Election Observation Mission, si Lucas, and may mga bisita kanina na wala sa sila yun. Okay, thank you so much.